Good evening, dreamer, and welcome back to Dreamy Science Stories. I'm glad you're here. Wherever you are right now, allow your breathing to slow, your shoulders to soften, as we begin a quiet journey downward. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of the Earth's frozen skin. Above you, a pale sky. Below you, an immense sheet of ice, thick, ancient, and slowly drifting like a living continent. Now, gently descend. The light fades as you move beneath the surface, passing through layers of blue and white, through ice that has been forming for tens of thousands of years. Here, there are no waves, no wind, no warmth from the sun, only stillness, only time, moving more slowly than anywhere else on our planet. Far below this frozen ceiling lies an ocean sealed away from the world above, a dark, silent sea that has never known daylight, a place where life, if it exists at all, follows rules entirely its own. What kind of life waits? Where sunlight has never been? Tonight's journey is not about rushing to find answers. It's about listening, drifting, and letting the hidden rhythms of the under-ice world reveal themselves, one quiet moment at a time. And if these gentle explorations bring you calm, feel free to softly like, share, or leave a quiet thought below. It helps this small corner of curiosity reach other wandering minds. Now, let's continue our descent. Beneath the surface of the Earth's great ice sheets, nothing is ever truly still. From above, the ice appears silent and unmoving, a pale expanse stretching to the horizon, flat and lifeless. But below, the story is different. Here, the ice is alive in a way that unfolds only over immense stretches of time. It flows, not like water, rushing or splashing, but like a thought held gently and never released. Grain by grain, crystal by crystal, the ice shifts under its own tremendous weight. What seems frozen to human senses is, on a geological scale, slowly breathing. Each layer presses down on the ones beneath it, creating pressure so immense that the ice begins to behave like a very slow liquid. It bends, it stretches, it glides forward at a pace measured in millimeters per year, a movement so subtle that a human lifetime would pass without noticing it at all. And yet, this motion never stops. Within the ice, crystals rearrange themselves, aligning along invisible lines of stress. Over centuries, these structures change shape, adapting to forces that never sleep. The ice remembers where it has been pressed, where it has been pulled, where it has been allowed to rest. In this way, the ice carries memory. Every layer is a chapter written by snowfall long past, storms that raged when coastlines lay elsewhere, snow that fell before languages formed. Each winter added a thin page, compressed by the weight of those that followed, until time itself became solid. Trapped inside these layers are tiny bubbles of ancient air, fragments of the atmospheres that once brushed the surface of a younger Earth. They are sealed in place, untouched, preserving whispers of climates that no longer exist. The ice does not forget what the world once was. Above the hidden ocean, the ice thickens until it becomes a roof, vast, continuous, and heavy beyond imagination. In places, this frozen ceiling reaches several kilometers thick, a mass so immense it would crush almost any structure built by human hands. And yet, it floats. The dark ocean beneath bears the weight with quiet strength, holding the ice aloft just enough to keep it suspended. Between solid and liquid, a delicate balance forms, a ceiling resting on water, a world sealed away. This roof changes everything below it. With the ice in place, the ocean is cut off from wind and weather. No storms churn its surface, no waves rise and fall. The violent energy of the atmosphere is softened, filtered through thousands of meters of frozen matter. Temperature becomes steady, protected, held in a narrow range that resists extremes. While surface seas freeze and thaw, warm and cool with the turning of seasons, the under-ice ocean remains calm and consistent. Here, the absence of change becomes a kind of shelter. The ice acts as insulation, trapping heat that rises slowly from the earth below. It prevents warmth from escaping too quickly into space. At the same time, it blocks the sun's cold indifference from penetrating downward. For millions of years, this balance has endured. Above the ice, climates have shifted. Ice ages have advanced and retreated. Oceans have risen and fallen. But beneath the frozen roof, the ocean has remained remarkably stable, protected from the chaos of the surface world. And still, the ice is not silent. Deep within it, tension builds as the frozen mass continues its slow journey across the planet. Pressure accumulates along invisible fractures. When the stress becomes too great, the ice releases it. The sound is not sharp. It is deep and resonant, a low groan that travels for kilometers through the frozen ceiling. A sudden crack that echoes like distant thunder, slowed and softened by the surrounding cold. These sounds move downward into the ocean below, carried by water far more efficiently than through air. They ripple outward, filling the darkness with vibration. To human instruments, this hidden soundscape feels otherworldly. Creaks, pops, long mournful rumbles, the slow music of ancient ice adjusting itself. Sometimes meltwater forms inside the ice itself, thin rivers flowing through tunnels carved by warmth and pressure. They twist and branch, reshaping the roof from within. When these rivers suddenly drain, the ice responds with a long shudder, a release felt far below. The roof breathes in this way: expansion and contraction, tension and release, cold descending from above, warmth rising from below. The ice is never at rest, even when it appears perfectly still. From beneath, the underside of the ice reveals a landscape few have ever seen. Jagged ridges hang downward like frozen mountains turned upside down. Smooth plains glow faintly in the reflection of artificial light. Curves and shelves form where melting and refreezing have sculpted the surface over centuries. For anything living below, this roof is always present, always close, an unseen sky made not of air, but of frozen time. It shapes the world beneath it without ever opening, without ever allowing light to pass through. And as the ice continues its slow, patient movement, it holds the ocean in darkness, not as a prison, but as a quiet shelter where time itself seems to move more gently. Beneath that frozen shelter, the ocean learns patience. The roof above does not respond to days or seasons. It does not rise with warmth or shrink with cold in any way that can be hurried. Its presence is constant, and that constancy settles into the water below like a long-held breath. Pressure here is not something that arrives suddenly. It is always there, a steady weight pressing down, shaping the ocean not through violence, but through permanence. Water adapts to this pressure the way living things adapt to gravity, by accepting it as the natural state of being. Currents beneath the ice move differently than those in open seas. They are slower, more deliberate. Without wind to stir the surface, motion comes from deeper causes, differences in salt, in temperature, in the slow pull of the earth itself. These currents do not race. They drift, tracing long, looping paths that may take decades to complete. The ice above absorbs energy that would otherwise disturb this balance. Waves born from distant storms fade long before they can reach this hidden world. Even the rhythm of tides arrives softened, transformed into a subtle flexing rather than a surge. In this way, the frozen roof becomes a filter. It allows motion, but only the gentlest kind. It permits change, but only on timescales that stretch far beyond a human life. Because of this, the ocean beneath the ice becomes one of the most stable environments on the planet. Its temperature varies little, its chemistry changes slowly, its darkness is uninterrupted. And in that darkness, stability becomes sanctuary. Where other oceans are constantly rearranged by storms, seasons, and sunlight, this one remains held in a quiet equilibrium. The ice above acts like a lid on a long simmering pot, preventing sudden losses of heat, preventing sudden intrusions from above. Heat that rises from the Earth's interior collects gently beneath the roof. It spreads outwards, maintaining the water in a liquid state even while the world above freezes solid. This warmth is not intense, it is patient, enough. At the boundary where ice meets water, a delicate exchange takes place. The base of the ice melts in some regions while refreezing in others. Fresh water seeps downward, changing the density of the surrounding sea. Salt is rejected as ice forms, slipping back into the ocean below. This quiet process drives slow circulation patterns, invisible to the eye, yet powerful over time. The roof shapes the ocean not just by sealing it, but by participating in its motion. From beneath, the ice ceiling appears as a landscape suspended overhead. Ridges hang downward like frozen cliffs. Smooth, pale expanses stretch between them, glowing faintly when illuminated by human instruments. In some places, scalloped patterns reveal where warm currents have gently sculpted the ice from below. But most of the time, there is no light at all. The roof exists as a presence felt rather than seen, a boundary sensed through pressure, through sound, through the subtle way water behaves when it nears the frozen sky above. Sound travels far beneath the ice. The ceiling reflects and channels vibrations, allowing noises to echo and linger. A crack forming kilometers away can be heard as a distant groan. A shifting glacier can announce itself through a slow, resonant rumble that rolls through the water like thunder underwater. These sounds form a kind of weather of their own, not storms, but signals, not chaos, but communication between ice and ocean. To anything living below, this acoustic world becomes part of the environment. The roof speaks, and the ocean listens. The ice also defines the limits of this hidden realm. There is no escape upward, no accidental rise into light. The ceiling is absolute. This separation creates isolation unlike anything found in open seas. Water beneath the ice may remain cut off from the surface for centuries, sometimes longer. In that isolation, the ocean becomes inward-looking. Its chemistry evolves along its own path. Its living systems, if present, adapt to conditions that never change abruptly. The roof removes urgency. There is no need to hurry here. No sudden freeze, no sudden bloom of light. Everything unfolds slowly, carefully, with a patience enforced by the weight above. Above the ice, the planet continues its restless motion. Winds circle the poles, seasons turn, civilizations rise and fade. Below, the ocean remains wrapped in frozen quiet. The roof has watched continents shift without ever moving aside. It has endured ages of cold and brief intervals of warmth, always returning to its role as guardian and boundary. It has sealed away this world not as a prison, but as a cradle, holding darkness, holding warmth, holding time itself in suspension. And as the ice continues to flow, to breathe, to sing its slow, resonant songs overhead, the ocean beneath remains calm and undisturbed, waiting, ready for whatever life may choose to take shape in the silence it provides. Below the ice, darkness is not something that arrives. It is something that has always been there. There is no fading of light, no gradual descent into shadow. The ocean beneath the frozen roof exists in a state of permanent night, a darkness so complete that the idea of brightness feels almost imaginary. Here, the sun is not hidden behind clouds or mountains. It is absent entirely. In this world, photosynthesis has no place. There are no floating fields of plankton turning light into sugar, no green edges reaching upward toward warmth. The familiar engine that powers most life on Earth simply does not exist. And yet, the ocean is not empty. Life here does not wait for energy to fall from the sky. It draws power from below. Far beneath the ocean floor, the planet itself provides a quiet source of warmth. Heat rises slowly from the Earth's interior, traveling upward through cracks and thin places in the crust. This geothermal energy seeps into the water, gentle and constant, never dramatic, never rushing. It does not boil the sea, it only keeps it alive. In some places, this heat escapes through openings in the seafloor. Hydrothermal vents release warm, mineral-rich water into the surrounding darkness. The fluid carries dissolved metals, gases, and chemical potential, ingredients not for light, but for reaction. Around these vents, life gathers, not in bright colors or fast movement, but in quiet persistence. Microorganisms cluster where hot fluids meet cold seawater, feeding on chemical imbalances. They break apart molecules, releasing energy locked deep within the Earth's crust. This process, chemosynthesis, becomes the foundation of an entire hidden ecosystem. Here, energy is harvested not from photons, but from chemistry itself. Hydrogen reacts with sulfur. Methane combines with oxygen. Iron changes state. Each reaction releases a small amount of energy. Enough. From these reactions, life builds itself slowly. Cells divide without urgency. Growth is measured and restrained. In the absence of sunlight, nothing grows quickly. Beyond the vents, warmth spreads outward in faint gradients. The difference between slightly warmer water and slightly colder water becomes meaningful. Currents form not from wind, but from density, from salt, from heat. These currents move slowly, tracing long paths through the darkness. They carry chemicals, nutrients, and living things from one region to another, connecting distant places in a world without landmarks. Another source of energy comes from motion itself. Even beneath kilometers of ice, the ocean is not completely still. The gravitational pull of the moon and the distant sun flexes the planet gently. Tides still exist here, though muted and transformed. This slow stretching and relaxing of the ocean floor generates heat through friction. Rock presses against rock. Water resists movement. The result is warmth, not enough to be felt by human hands, but enough to matter to life adapted to scarcity. Over long periods, this tidal heating helps prevent the ocean from freezing solid. It adds to the delicate balance that keeps water liquid beneath the ice. At the boundary between rock and water, chemistry becomes even more important. Seawater reacts with minerals that have been locked away for billions of years. Iron-rich rocks release hydrogen gas. Carbon dioxide dissolves and recombines. Methane forms in the dark. These reactions are slow, but they never stop. They release energy steadily, like embers glowing beneath ash. A quiet fire that does not need oxygen from the air above. In this sunless ocean, energy is never abundant, but it is reliable. And reliability here is everything. Life adapts to this scarcity by slowing down. Metabolisms run at a gentle pace. Organisms conserve energy with careful precision. Movement is minimized. Growth is deliberate. Reproduction happens only when conditions allow. There is no rush, no seasonal bloom followed by collapse, no sudden feast or famine. Without sunlight, time itself feels different. There are no days to mark, no nights to rest from, no seasons to promise change. Instead, rhythms are set by chemistry and pressure, by the slow pulse of tides, by the distant groaning of ice overhead. For life in this ocean, time may be measured not in hours, but in reactions completed, in molecules processed, in gradients crossed. Darkness becomes the default state, not something to fear, but something to exist within. And in this eternal night, biology follows unfamiliar rules. Vision, if it exists at all, is secondary. Senses shift toward touch, taste, vibration. Sound travels far in the still water, carrying information where light cannot. Energy is never wasted on excess. Structures are simple. Functions overlap. Every adaptation reflects the same principle. Survive quietly. Above, the world of light is restless and fast. Below the ice, the ocean settles into patience. A night without end, a world powered not by the sun, but by the deep, steady warmth of the earth itself. In this darkness, life learns a different definition of abundance. Here, abundance does not mean excess. It does not mean rapid growth or overflowing numbers. It means continuity. Energy arrives slowly, and so it is used slowly. Nothing in this ocean is designed for waste. Every reaction, every movement, Every division of a cell is measured against the cost of making it happen. Because when light never comes, nothing can afford to hurry. Metabolism becomes a quiet art. Cells learn to idle rather than accelerate. They remain poised in a state of readiness, able to act, but content to wait. For many organisms, survival depends not on finding food quickly, but on enduring the long intervals between opportunities. Nutrients drift through the water in thin concentrations, carried by gentle currents that may take years to complete their circuit. When nourishment appears, it is absorbed carefully, stored patiently, stretched across time. In this way, the ocean beneath the ice favors endurance over strength. Bodies here often operate at the edge of activity. Heartbeats, if they exist at all, are slow. Chemical processes unfold with deliberate restraint. Some organisms may go dormant for long periods, reducing their internal activity to almost nothing, waiting for the environment to align just enough to justify waking again. Others remain active but subdued, their presence felt more in chemistry than in motion. Without sunlight to define a daily rhythm, life here does not sleep in the way surface creatures do. There is no night to rest from, no day to prepare for. Instead, rest and activity blur together, governed by internal states rather than external cues. The absence of light also reshapes how organisms interact. Visual displays lose their meaning. Color becomes irrelevant. Instead, communication relies on contact, on subtle chemical trails, on vibrations passing through water. Slight change in pressure can signal movement nearby. A faint chemical gradient can reveal the presence of food or danger or another living thing sharing the dark. Sound becomes especially important. In the stillness beneath the ice, vibrations travel far. A single movement can ripple outward, announcing itself across great distances. Life adapts by becoming quiet. Movements are small. Interactions are restrained. Nothing announces itself loudly unless it must. Even predation, where it exists, is shaped by these rules. There are no long pursuits, no frantic chases. Predators wait, they sense, they conserve. When action comes, it is brief and precise. A single moment of effort, followed by long stillness again. Energy is spent only when the return is certain. This restraint extends to reproduction as well. In a world where resources arrive slowly and unpredictably, producing many offspring at once is risky. Instead, life favors fewer descendants, each given a greater chance to survive. Growth is incremental. Development takes time. Some organisms may require decades to reach maturity. But time here is plentiful. The ice above ensures that the environment changes slowly, if at all. There are no sudden freezes or warm spells to force rapid adaptation. Conditions remain stable enough for life to refine itself gradually, carefully, over immense spans of time. This stability allows for specialization. Organisms become exquisitely tuned to narrow ranges of temperature, pressure, and chemistry. They thrive not because they are flexible, but because their world rarely demands flexibility. The result is a biosphere unlike any other on Earth. A system built not on sunlight and speed, but on darkness and patience. To human observers, this ocean feels alien, almost unfinished. It lacks the familiar signs of vitality, lush growth, visible motion, dramatic change. But beneath that impression lies a quiet complexity. Chemical cycles loop slowly through the water. Energy flows from rock to microbe, from microbe to larger forms, in chains that are fragile but persistent. Life continues not because conditions are easy, but because they are dependable. In this eternal night, extinction does not arrive suddenly. It creeps in slowly, if at all. And so life here becomes ancient. Lineages may persist for millions of years with little outward change. Evolution proceeds, but at a pace measured in geological time rather than generations. Small advantages accumulate gradually. Efficiency improves. Waste is eliminated. What emerges is a kind of biological minimalism. Nothing extraneous survives. Nothing ornamental lasts. Only what works quietly endures. Above the ice, the sun continues to rise and fall. Ecosystems bloom and collapse with the turning of seasons. Energy floods the surface world in abundance and then retreats again. Below, the ocean remains unchanged, a place where life does not chase light, but learns to live without it. A place where warmth comes not from the sky, but from the deep, patient heart of the planet. A night without stars, the sea without dawn, and yet a world undeniably alive, sustained by chemistry, protected by ice, and shaped by laws far older than sunlight itself. In the darkness beneath the ice, shapes drift that have never learned to be seen. They do not announce themselves. They do not cut through the water with confidence or speed. Instead, they hover, soft, yielding forms that seem to borrow their outlines from the darkness itself. Many of these creatures are almost entirely transparent. Their bodies are made not to reflect light, but to let it pass through without resistance. When no light exists, invisibility becomes the safest color of all. Their tissues are thin and delicate, like fog held together by patience. Edges blur into the surrounding water. Where one body ends and the ocean begins is often difficult to tell. Some resemble drifting veils, folded and unfolding as currents pass through them. Others stretch long and narrow, like pale ribbons suspended in stillness. A few curl inward on themselves, forming shapes that seem unfinished, as if evolution paused before deciding what they should become. They are not built for a world of sharp boundaries. They are built for gradients. Pressure, chemistry, and motion define their existence more than sight ever could. Their bodies respond to subtle changes in the water, tiny shifts in temperature, faint traces of dissolved minerals, the distant vibration of movement far away. To encounter them at all requires intrusion. When a submersible descends into this world, its lights briefly carve narrow tunnels through the darkness. For a moment, the ocean reveals fragments of itself. A translucent body drifts into view. A soft appendage recoils. A glow pulses once, then vanishes. Cameras capture only impressions. A curve, a shimmer, a fleeting symmetry before it dissolves again into blackness. No human eye has ever seen these creatures whole. What we know of them comes from partial encounters, interrupted by darkness returning the instant the lights move on. They exist mostly unseen, living their entire lives without ever being fully observed. Their lack of pigment is not absence, but adaptation. Color has no function where there is no light to carry it. Instead, their bodies prioritize efficiency, thin membranes, minimal structure, overlapping functions. Muscle fibers ripple slowly beneath translucent skin. Internal organs glow faintly when illuminated, revealing quiet processes at work. Digestion unfolds over long periods. Energy is released gradually, carefully. Within some of these bodies, light appears, not borrowed, but created. Bioluminescence here is subtle, a gentle blue, a muted green, never bright enough to illuminate the surroundings, never wasteful. This light is not meant to reveal the world. It is meant to be recognized. A slow pulse may signal presence to another drifting form nearby. A faint glow along an edge may help two organisms orient toward one another without contact. In a world where touch is rare and vision unreliable, light becomes a quiet language. There are no displays, no elaborate patterns meant to impress. Every flash has purpose. Some creatures glow only once in long intervals, conserving energy for moments that matter. Others maintain a steady, dim halo that fades in and out like breathing. The darkness always returns. Movement among these beings is restrained. Swimming, when it happens at all, is slow and deliberate. Most allow themselves to drift, carried by currents that move like long thoughts through the water. Energy is too precious to spend on constant motion. Stillness becomes a strategy. Predation exists, but it is patient. There are no pursuits, no sudden chases through open water. Instead, predators wait, sensing vibrations and chemical traces until prey comes close enough to justify action. When movement does occur, it is precise and brief. A single contraction, a gentle capture followed by long stillness again. These creatures appear fragile, but fragility here is an illusion. Their softness allows them to compress under pressure without breaking. Rigid structures would be costly, both in energy and in risk. Flexibility keeps them intact. Some organisms host entire microbial communities within their bodies. Symbiotic bacteria live inside translucent tissues, performing chemical reactions that supply energy or nutrients. The host provides shelter and access to the slow flow of dissolved compounds drifting through the ocean. One organism becomes many, an ecosystem enclosed within a single form. From the outside, such a creature may look simple. Inside, it is quietly complex. Because this world has remained isolated for so long, many of its inhabitants follow evolutionary paths found nowhere else. They are shaped not by competition with surface species, but by the demands of darkness and scarcity alone. Familiar categories begin to lose meaning. Some creatures have no obvious front or back. Others lack a clear boundary between feeding and sensing structures. Limbs, if they can be called that, often serve multiple purposes: movement, detection, interaction. Symmetry exists, but rarely perfectly. Forms drift towards balance, then wander away again. To the human mind, they feel unfinished, like sketches rather than final designs. Ideas pause midway through becoming. But in this ocean, completion looks different. Here, perfection is not complexity. it is sufficiency. Each creature exists because it works, because it can endure the darkness, because it can survive on little, because it fits into the quiet logic of this world. And as the lights of human machines fade once more, the creatures drift back into invisibility, continuing lives that do not require observation to be real. In this ocean, being unseen is not a disadvantage, it is the natural state. These creatures have never evolved with an audience in mind. There is no need to be recognized, no pressure to stand out, no reward for spectacle. They exist entirely within their own quiet agreements with the environment. To be transparent here is not to hide, but to belong. Their bodies blend into the water so completely that even their shadows are uncertain. Light, when it appears, slips through them rather than stopping at their surface. They do not interrupt the darkness. They pass through it gently, like thoughts that never fully form. Many of these beings seem to lack clear boundaries. Their edges soften and dissolve as they move, merging briefly with the surrounding water before separating again. It is difficult to say where the organism ends and the ocean resumes. Perhaps in this world, that distinction matters less. Some creatures appear to grow and shrink subtly, expanding when energy is available, contracting when it is not. Their bodies are not fixed architectures, but flexible arrangements, shapes that adjust to circumstance rather than resist it. Growth here is not linear. It does not move steadily toward a final form. Instead, life unfolds as a series of small negotiations, a little more tissue here, a little less structure there, adaptation without urgency, without direction imposed from above. Because there is no light to chase, there is no upward ambition. Evolution does not climb, it settles. Over long stretches of time, features appear that seem provisional, as though they might change again if given enough patience. An appendage that senses vibrations may also help guide food toward the body. A membrane that protects delicate tissues may also serve as a site for chemical exchange. Nothing exists for a single purpose alone. In this way, every creature feels like a draft rather than a final copy. Not flawed, just open-ended. Some organisms pulse with faint internal rhythms, barely perceptible even at close range. These rhythms may coordinate internal processes or simply reflect the slow chemistry that sustains them. To human instruments, they look like heartbeats slowed almost to stillness. Others seem to have no rhythm at all. They drift, responding only when the environment demands it. Time, for them, is not divided into moments. It stretches into long continuums of waiting and brief instants of action. Reproduction, when it occurs, is quiet and infrequent. There are no mass spawnings timed to light or season. Instead, reproduction happens when conditions align just enough to make it worthwhile. Some creatures may release a single offspring after years of preparation. Others may divide slowly, one becoming two without drama or urgency. Because of this, populations remain sparse. The ocean is not crowded. Space exists between living things. Wide expanses of dark water where nothing stirs for long periods. Encounters are rare and therefore meaningful. When two organisms do cross paths, their interactions are subtle. A faint glow may pass between them, A chemical signal may drift outward, linger, then fade. There is no competition for attention, only acknowledgement. In rare moments, human observers have witnessed creatures responding to artificial light with what appears to be curiosity rather than fear. A form drifting closer, not quickly, but with gentle interest. A glow brightening slightly, then dimming again. There is no instinct here to flee suddenly, no history of fast-moving predators sweeping down from above. The under-ice ocean has been calm for too long to teach panic. But this does not mean it is simple. Beneath the apparent minimalism lies complexity that unfolds slowly, layer by layer. Biochemical pathways more efficient than those found at the surface. Cellular structures adapted to operate at the edge of energy availability. Repair mechanisms that prioritize longevity over speed. Some of these creatures may live for decades, some, perhaps, much longer. With so little pressure to reproduce quickly, aging loses its urgency. Damage accumulates slowly. Repair is careful and persistent. These organisms are not built for short lives. They are built to remain. To human science, they present a challenge. They resist classification. They do not fit neatly into existing branches of the tree of life. Are they animals? Something else? The categories blur in the dark. Without clear boundaries, without obvious organs or behaviors, naming becomes difficult, and so many of these creatures remain unnamed, not because they are unknown, but because they refuse easy definition. Their life explored sideways rather than upward. Each one feels like a question rather than an answer, a suggestion of what biology can become when freed from the demands of sunlight and speed. They hint at possibilities beyond Earth, at a forms life might take beneath the ice of distant moons, or in oceans sealed away beneath alien skies. If life can exist like this, soft, slow, patient, unnamed, then perhaps it is more common than we imagine. As submersibles withdraw once more, their lights dimming and vanishing, the ocean returns to its natural state. Darkness closes gently around the drifting forms. The creatures do not follow. They do not react. They continue as they always have, suspended in their quiet world, untouched by observation. Here, life does not strive to be seen. It does not need recognition to persist. It exists as a series of unfinished ideas, shaped by darkness, held together by patience, and perfectly at home in a world without names. In the ocean beneath the ice, nothing rushes. Life here does not measure itself against urgency. There is no sudden arrival of light to seize, no brief season that must be used before it disappears. Instead, existence unfolds at a pace so slow it feels almost suspended. Movements that take seconds at the surface may take hours here. Processes that complete in days above may stretch across months below. Even the simplest acts, feeding, growing, repairing, are carried out with deliberate restraint. Metabolism slows until it becomes barely perceptible. Energy flows through bodies like a quiet stream rather than a current. Nothing surges, nothing spikes. This slowness is not weakness, it is adaptation. In a world where energy arrives sparingly and predictably, speed offers no advantage. Only efficiency does. Cells operate at a fraction of the pace found in sunlit seas. chemical reactions unfold gently, producing just enough energy to sustain life without excess. Heat is conserved. Resources are stored and rationed carefully, like embers tended through a long night. Because of this, the creatures of the under-ice ocean age differently. Time leaves fewer marks. Without frequent reproduction or rapid growth, cellular damage accumulates slowly. Repair systems work patiently, correcting small errors before they grow. Tissues renew themselves not through replacement, but through maintenance. Many organisms here do not have a clear beginning or end to their life stages. They do not pass quickly from youth to maturity to decline. Instead, they exist in long plateaus of being, stable, consistent, enduring. Some may live for centuries, not because they are immortal, but because nothing forces them to hurry toward death. Predation is limited. Environmental change is rare. Accidents are infrequent. When death comes, it is often gradual, the result of accumulated scarcity rather than sudden violence. In this way, longevity becomes the default rather than the exception. Reproduction follows the same philosophy. There are no mass spawnings timed to cycles of light, no seasonal urgency that demands excess offspring to ensure survival. Instead, reproduction is rare, cautious, almost contemplative. Energy must be accumulated slowly before it can be given away. To create another life is a significant investment here, not an impulsive act. Some organisms reproduce only a few times over their entire existence. Others may divide once and never again. A single offspring may represent decades of stored energy, released only when conditions feel stable enough to justify the cost. This restraint shapes populations into something sparse and spacious. Creatures are spread widely across the dark water, separated by long distances and long intervals. Encounters are uncommon. Crowding is unknown. With so much space and so little urgency, competition fades into the background. There is no race for dominance, no struggle for territory. Instead, each organism occupies its own quiet niche, defined not by borders, but by balance. This way of life begins to resemble a form of biological meditation. Activity and rest are not opposites here. They blend together. An organism may drift in near stillness for long periods, internal processes continuing softly without any visible sign of effort. When action is required, it arises gently, then subsides again. There is no clear division between doing and being. Even growth follows this pattern. Bodies do not expand rapidly. They add mass slowly, carefully, only when resources allow. Some may grow imperceptibly over years, their change noticeable only when viewed across decades. Because of this, individuals often appear ageless. Without size shifts or color changes to mark time, it becomes difficult to tell how old a creature truly is. Age loses its meaning when everything unfolds so slowly. Above the ice, time presses forward relentlessly. Days turn into years. Years collapse into decades. Below, time relaxes its grip. Moments stretch. Intervals widen. The future does not rush toward the present. Instead, time feels like something that surrounds life rather than pushing it. an oceanic presence, vast and forgiving. This altered relationship with time shapes behavior in subtle ways. There is no anxiety here, no need to anticipate rapid change, no advantage in reacting quickly to uncertain futures. The environment is stable enough that patience becomes the most reliable strategy. Even risk is softened by slowness. Mistakes unfold gradually, offering opportunities for correction. Failures do not cascade rapidly. Systems have time to adapt, to adjust, to settle back into balance. In this world, survival is not about winning moments. It is about remaining. As the ice above continues its slow movement, and the earth below releases its steady warmth, life beneath the frozen roof follows the same rhythm. Unhurried, unforced, held gently by time rather than driven by it. At the smallest scales of life beneath the ice, slowness becomes physical. Inside each cell, reactions unfold at a pace that would seem almost stalled to surface biology. Enzymes bind and release their targets reluctantly, as if each interaction must be carefully considered before proceeding. Chemical pathways that race forward in sunlit waters here take hours, sometimes days, to complete a single step. Proteins are built to last. They fold into shapes that resist breakdown, remaining functional for years instead of minutes. Turnover is minimal. Replacement is rare. Rather than constantly rebuilding themselves, these cells maintain what they already have. Repair takes precedence over renewal. Damage is corrected slowly, patiently, long before it accumulates into failure. Even the cycle of cell division stretches far beyond familiar scales, where surface organisms divide rapidly, driven by abundant energy and constant change. Cells beneath the ice may wait years before replicating. Some may divide only a handful of times across an entire lifetime. This changes how evolution itself behaves. Mistakes, small errors in replication or metabolism do not immediately lead to death. The system has time to absorb them, to soften their impact, to adjust. A flawed protein may persist harmlessly for decades before being replaced. A minor mutation may never express itself strongly enough to matter. Failure here is not catastrophic, it fades. Because change unfolds so slowly, collapse becomes unlikely. There are no sudden chain reactions, no runaway processes that spiral out of control. The biology of this ocean is forgiving. Errors dissolve into time rather than exploding within it. This tolerance allows life to explore possibilities that would be too unstable elsewhere. Structures that are only marginally efficient can persist long enough to be refined. Unusual metabolic pathways can survive without being immediately selected against. Evolution here does not prune aggressively, it edits gently. Over thousands of years, small adjustments accumulate, not because they are urgent, but because nothing interrupts them. Natural selection works in whispers rather than commands. And because reproduction is rare, each lineage stretches across vast spans of time. Generations overlap so extensively that the boundary between parent and offspring becomes blurred. Change flows through populations like a slow current rather than discrete steps. This is life experienced not in moments, but in continuums. For these organisms, Time is not something that passes, it is something they inhabit. Just as they live within water, surrounded, supported, carried, they live within duration itself. There is no sharp distinction between past and present. Processes begun long ago may still be unfolding. A chemical adjustment initiated centuries earlier may still be settling into balance. A structural change begun in an ancestor may not reach completion for generations. Nothing is rushed to resolution. In this way, time becomes a medium rather than a measure, not a line to move along, but a space to exist within. The creatures beneath the ice do not move through time, they float in it. Their behaviors reflect this relationship. They do not prepare for the future in the way surface organisms must. There is no coming winter to anticipate, no brief abundance to exploit before it vanishes. Instead, life assumes continuity. The future is expected to resemble the present closely enough that planning becomes unnecessary. Energy is not stockpiled for emergencies, it is simply conserved. This assumption shapes an ecosystem without urgency or anxiety. Risk is low because change is slow. Stability allows for trust in the environment itself. Above, ecosystems depend on rapid response. Below, response itself is optional. Even death is transformed by time. When an organism finally fails, when repair can no longer keep pace with wear, it does not collapse suddenly. Its systems wind down gradually. Metabolism slows further. Activity diminishes. The organism becomes less distinct from the environment around it. Its materials return gently to the chemical flow of the ocean. Death here is not an event. It is a transition without punctuation. This further reinforces continuity. Nothing ends abruptly enough to disrupt the surrounding life. Energy and matter are reclaimed without shock. In this world, time acts not as a force that pushes life forward or wears it down, but as a buffer, a cushion that absorbs change, a vast interval that allows adjustment before consequence. The ice above ensures that this relationship with time remains intact. It blocks sudden influence, it smooths extremes. And so, beneath that frozen roof, life learns to exist without haste at every level, from molecules to entire ecosystems. Not racing, not striving, simply remaining. In this ocean, slowness is not the absence of activity, it is the presence of permission. Permission for biology to take its time. In the absence of sunlight, something else begins to glow. Not in brightness, not in color, but in possibility. Beneath the ice, energy does not arrive from above. It rises slowly from stone, from pressure, from reactions unfolding in darkness. Here, the role once played by the sun is taken on by chemistry. The seafloor becomes a quiet source of nourishment. At the boundary where rock meets water, ancient processes continue without pause. Minerals locked inside stone for billions of years come into contact with seawater and begin to change. Iron oxidizes, sulfur shifts form, hydrogen slips free from its bonds. These reactions release energy, not in flashes, but in steady trickles, enough to sustain life that knows how to listen. The first organisms to gather here are small beyond imagination. Microbes cling directly to rock surfaces, spreading thin films across stone like invisible gardens. They do not move much. They do not need to. They eat the earth itself. Some extract energy from iron, changing it from one chemical state to another. Others feed on sulfur compounds released by warm fluids rising through cracks in the crust. Still others use hydrogen gas seeping upward from deep geological reactions. These organisms do not require organic food. They do not wait for something else to die. They make their living directly from the planet. In this world, stone becomes sustenance. These microbial communities grow slowly, layer upon layer, forming mats that shimmer faintly under artificial light. They are not colorful. They do not wave or sway. They simply exist, converting rock into life one molecule at a time. From these microbes, everything else follows. They form the base of a food web unlike any found at the surface. Here, the chain does not begin with plants reaching for light. It begins with bacteria leaning inward towards stone. Tiny grazers arrive next, organisms adapted to scrape, absorb, or harvest these microbial films. They move carefully along the seafloor, conserving energy as they feed. Each mouthful contains the work of countless chemical reactions performed silently by microbes below. Larger organisms follow, feeding on the grazers, incorporating geological energy into their own slow metabolisms. In this way, the energy of the earth flows upward through the ecosystem, not from sky to sea, but from crust to life. This reversal changes everything. Food here is not seasonal. It does not bloom and vanish with light. It is persistent, as long as the planet remains warm inside. Because geological processes move slowly, so does the supply of energy. Nothing arrives in abundance, but nothing disappears suddenly either. This creates an ecosystem built on continuity rather than cycles. At hydrothermal vents, this process becomes especially vivid. Warm fluids pour out of the seafloor, carrying metals and gases from deep within the earth. As they meet the cold ocean, minerals precipitate, building chimney-like structures over time. These chimneys become pillars of life. Microbes coat their surfaces, forming the foundation of dense communities. Worms, crustaceans, and other vent-dwelling creatures gather nearby, hosting bacteria within their bodies or farming them along their skin. Some organisms have no digestive systems at all. They rely entirely on internal microbes to convert chemical energy into nourishment. They are not individuals so much as partnerships. Life sustained by collaboration between species and stone. Even away from vents, the seafloor continues to feed the ocean quietly. Serpentinization, reactions between water and certain types of rock, produces hydrogen gas continuously. Methane forms. Without biological input, energy seeps into the water, whether life is present or not. Life simply learns how to use it. In this sense, the under-ice ocean resembles the earliest Earth, a time before photosynthesis transformed the planet, a time when life relied entirely on chemistry and heat rather than light. These ancient strategies never disappeared. They were simply hidden beneath ice and time. Because the energy source here is geological, it is deeply local. Life clings to the seafloor. It gathers around cracks, ridges, and mineral-rich zones. The ocean above may be vast, but nourishment is concentrated near stone. As a result, the seafloor becomes a map of survival. Ridges glow faintly with microbial life. Flat plains remain sparse and quiet. Every geological feature carries biological meaning. To live here is to remain close to the earth. Creatures rarely stray far upward. The deep water holds little for them. Their world is defined by proximity to rock, by contact with the planet itself. This closeness creates intimacy between biology and geology. Life responds directly to shifts in the crust. A new crack opening may introduce fresh energy. A vent cooling may slowly starve an entire community. Change comes not from weather, but from tectonics. And so the ecosystem listens constantly to the slow movements of the earth below. It adapts not to days or seasons, but to geological moods. In this darkness, chemistry becomes a kind of sunlight. Not bright, not warming, but steady enough to sustain life willing to move at the pace of stone. In this world, chemistry does not simply provide energy, it provides orientation. Life beneath the ice learns to read the seafloor the way surface life reads the sky, not by looking upward, but by listening downward, to gradients of heat, to faint chemical trails rising from fractures, to subtle changes in the mineral breath of the earth. Stone becomes a kind of compass. A slight increase in hydrogen signals proximity to an active reaction zone. A trace of dissolved iron hints at fresh rock exposed by slow tectonic motion. Even the absence of certain compounds carries meaning, marking places where energy has already been quietly consumed. For organisms here, the landscape is written in chemistry rather than shape. Many creatures never leave the bottom at all. They remain pressed close to the seafloor, grazing, absorbing, or hosting the microbial life that transforms stone into sustenance. Their movements trace the contours of geology rather than currents. They follow cracks. They linger near ridges. They gather where minerals seep upward like breath through ancient lungs. Some species form long-term relationships with specific rock types. Basalt-rich zones support one set of microbes, serpentinite another, carbonate formations yet another. Life learns not only where to live, but what kind of stone to live with. These partnerships run deep. Inside the tissues of many larger organisms, microbial communities thrive, performing chemical reactions their hosts cannot manage alone. The host provides shelter, stability, and access to dissolved compounds. The microbes provide energy, converting geology into metabolism. This intimacy blurs individuality. An organism here is never truly alone. It is an arrangement of cells and bacteria, of tissues and reactions, of life and stone working together. In some cases, the host's own organs become reduced over evolutionary time. Digestive systems shrink or disappear entirely. Energy production is outsourced to internal microbial partners. The boundary between animal and environment dissolves. Even reproduction reflects this chemical intimacy. Offspring are often born already carrying the microbial communities they will need to survive. These bacteria are passed down carefully, generation to generation, ensuring continuity of the partnership. Inheritance here is not only genetic, it is chemical. Because the energy source is geological, it follows geological time. A vent that remains active for thousands of years becomes a stable anchor for life. Communities grow slowly around it, adapting precisely to its output. When the vent eventually cools, the change unfolds over centuries, not moments. Life does not panic. It adjusts. Organisms migrate gradually, following new chemical signals across the seafloor. Some decline slowly as energy fades. Others find nearby sources emerging as the Earth reshapes itself. Extinction, when it occurs, is quiet and local. There are no mass die-offs triggered by sudden darkness or freezing, no abrupt collapses of entire food webs. Instead, communities wax and wane with the slow moods of the planet itself. This creates a deep alignment between biology and geology. Life does not merely exist on the seafloor, it participates in its rhythms. The rocks change the water feeds the microbes shape the ecosystem. Over time, life even alters the stone it depends on. Microbial activity accelerates certain reactions, changing mineral composition. Biofilms trap particles, subtly reshaping surfaces. The seafloor becomes a living interface rather than a boundary. In this sense, the under-ice ocean preserves something ancient. Long before sunlight dominated the planet, life depended on chemical energy like this. Before oxygen filled the atmosphere, before green spread across the surface. These metabolisms are echoes of Earth's earliest chapters, still quietly unfolding beneath ice. They remind us that photosynthesis was not the beginning of life, but an addition, a bright layer placed atop a much older foundation. Down here, that foundation remains exposed. Because of this, the under-ice ocean feels less like a hidden corner of the modern world and more like a window into deep time, a place where the rules of early Earth still apply. Life does not reach upward here. It leans inward towards stone. It whispers rather than shouts. It persists rather than expands. The energy that sustains it does not flicker with day and night. It flows steadily, indifferent to seasons, guided by the slow heartbeat of the planet. As the ice continues to seal this world away from the sky, chemistry continues its quiet work below. Rock meets water. Reactions unfold. Energy is released. And life, bound closely to the seafloor, listens carefully, turning ancient geological murmurs into existence, one molecule at a time. For a long time, it was easy to imagine this hidden ocean as a place of origins, a reminder of how life may have first begun, simple, chemical, close to stone. But that is only part of the story. The world beneath the ice is not only ancient, it is also separate. This ocean was not invaded by life from above, it was sealed. Long before the ice became a ceiling, these waters were open to the wider sea. Life already lived here. Marine organisms shaped by darkness, pressure, and depth. Long before humans learned to divide the world into surface and below. Then slowly, the planet changed. Ice advanced, glaciers thickened, open connections narrowed, then closed. Not in a single moment, but over thousands, and then millions of years. What remained beneath the ice was not a new ecosystem, but a continuation, a living fragment of the ocean, quietly cut off from the rest of the world. From that moment on, time began to move differently here. No new species arrived from brighter waters. No genetic exchange refreshed the system. No global extinctions reset the rules. Life continued, but only with itself. What evolved here did not evolve downwards from the surface. It evolved sideways, along a parallel path, sharing ancient ancestors with the wider ocean, yet shaped entirely by isolation. Traits that vanished elsewhere remained. Features that never became dominant above found space to persist here. Over millions of years, difference accumulated, not through competition, but through drift. This is what makes the under-ice ocean so rare. It is not a relic of beginnings and not a shadow of the modern world. It is a closed evolutionary branch, a version of life that the rest of the planet simply moved on from. A natural laboratory, not of creation, but of what happens when evolution is allowed to continue without interruption, without invasion, without urgency. And in that quiet isolation, the unfamiliar did not disappear. It became normal. For millions of years, this ocean has lived inside its own boundary, not hidden in the sense of being forgotten, but separated in the way distant worlds are separated, by barriers so thick and enduring that exchange becomes impossible. When the ice finally closed above these waters, it did not mark a beginning. It marked a pause. Life was already here. Marine organisms shaped by depth, pressure, and darkness long before the planet learned the rhythms of surface seasons. They did not arrive from above, they remained below. As glaciers thickened and the connections to the wider ocean narrowed, this sea became a closed system, not frozen in time, but insulated from it. From that moment on, evolution continued without interruption, but also without renewal. No new lineages arrived to compete, no currents carried unfamiliar genes, no mass extinctions swept through to reset the balance. Life continued only with what it already was. This is the nature of isolation over geological time. It does not erase complexity. It allows it to drift. Traits that elsewhere would be pushed aside by competition were not eliminated here. They lingered. They deepened. Structures that were merely adequate became permanent. Behaviors that were once secondary became central. What might have been transitional in other oceans became stable, inherited, and eventually defining. Isolation does not sharpen evolution, it softens it. Changes occur not in response to pressure, but through accumulation. Small variations persist simply because nothing arrives to displace them. Over thousands of generations, these gentle differences compound. Lineages bend slowly away from their ancient cousins elsewhere in the sea. Not through sudden leaps, but through quiet divergence. This process has no urgency. There is no race to adapt faster than arrival, no sudden collapse demanding innovation. Only the steady passage of time, shaping life through subtle preference and long survival. As a result, the organisms here feel unfamiliar, not because they are primitive, but because they are uninterrupted. They represent evolutionary paths that were never abandoned. In the wider ocean, constant mixing favors versatility. Here, stability favors refinement. Species become exquisitely tuned to narrow ranges of pressure, chemistry, and temperature. They do not need to tolerate variety. They need only endure constancy. Some lose features that are unnecessary in this closed world. Others retain traits long discarded elsewhere. Neither is corrected. Without external comparison, nothing is labeled excess or deficiency. Everything that persists is by definition successful. This creates ecosystems that feel internally complete, yet externally alien. Predation exists, but rarely in the dramatic forms seen above. Energy is too limited for wasteful conflict. Encounters are slow. Outcomes are quiet. Defense takes the form of avoidance, camouflage, or chemical subtlety rather than speed or force. Movement itself becomes economical. Even form begins to drift. Symmetry loosens. Clear divisions between organs blur. Structures merge functions rather than specialize. These bodies are not unfinished. They are optimized for a world where nothing demands spectacle. Because isolation protects them from disruption, these organisms never need to prepare for the unexpected. They do not evolve flexibility. They evolve precision. Each species becomes a solution to a very specific version of existence. And when that version remains unchanged for millions of years, the solution becomes deeply strange to outside eyes. This is why the under-ice ocean feels less like a variation of Earth's biosphere and more like an alternative draft. Not earlier, not simpler, just different. It is a record of what life becomes when evolution is allowed to continue without interruption, without invasion, without reset, without competition from faster worlds. For scientists, this isolation offers something rare. Not a glimpse of origins, but of divergence. A way to observe how biology behaves when it is left alone, long enough to forget the rest of the planet. In this sealed ocean, life does not adapt toward a goal. It drifts toward coherence. And in doing so, it begins to resemble something we might expect elsewhere in the universe, on distant moons, beneath alien ice, where oceans too have been sealed away from the light for longer than memory. From this quiet divergence, a new definition of normal begins to form. What feels alien to us is not extreme here. It is ordinary. In the under-ice ocean, traits that would appear strange, inefficient, or incomplete at the surface become the expected shape of life. Not because this world favors novelty, but because it has never been asked to conform to surface standards. There is no sunlight to reward eyes, no seasons to favor rapid reproduction, no predators demanding speed or armor. So those features do not become central. Instead, other qualities rise into prominence. Sensitivity replaces vision. Chemical awareness becomes more important than shape. Endurance matters more than strength. In this world, a body does not need to move quickly to survive. It needs to remain compatible with its surroundings over long spans of time. A creature that can sense minute chemical changes may outlast one that can swim fast. An organism that can tolerate slight fluctuations in pressure may persist longer than one built for force. These priorities feel foreign only because they are rarely rewarded in open, sunlit ecosystems. Here, they are the foundation of success. As a result, the ecosystem begins to feel uncoupled from earthly expectations. Forms do not align with familiar categories. Behaviors do not follow familiar patterns. Yet nothing here is accidental. Every adaptation reflects a world that is stable, dark, and sealed. This is why astrobiologists pay such close attention to places like this. Because when imagining life beyond Earth, it is easy to imagine planets like our own. Blue skies, shallow seas, light-driven ecosystems. But the universe may favor different architectures. Icy moons are common. Subsurface oceans may be abundant. Worlds sealed beneath thick shells of ice may outnumber open, sunlit planets many times over. And if that is the case, then the under-ice ocean is not an exception. It is a preview. In these sealed environments, isolation is not a flaw. It is a feature. Evolution proceeds without global resets. Life has time to explore quieter solutions. Complexity grows inward rather than outward. This leads to biospheres that are self-consistent but deeply unfamiliar. Alien not because they defy physics, but because they obey a different set of priorities. In such worlds, intelligence, if it arises at all, would not look like rapid problem-solving or tool use. It might look like extraordinary patience, extreme sensitivity, a capacity to detect patterns unfolding over decades rather than moments. Even communication might be chemical or vibrational rather than visual or auditory. Signals exchanged slowly, meanings carried in gradients rather than pulses. The under-ice ocean offers a rare chance to imagine these possibilities grounded in reality. Here, we see how life behaves when it is freed from the influence of light and weather, when it is allowed to evolve without interruption, when survival depends not on dominance, but on alignment. The result is a biosphere that feels less dramatic, but more enduring. Nothing here strives to expand. Nothing seeks to transform the environment aggressively. Life fits itself into the world rather than reshaping it. This has implications beyond biology. It suggests that many living worlds in the universe may be quiet, low energy, difficult to detect. They may not announce themselves with atmospheric signatures or rapid changes. They may exist beneath surfaces, hidden and stable, leaving little trace beyond subtle chemical imbalances. From a distance, they could appear lifeless. Only by listening carefully, by learning to interpret faint signals, would their presence be known. In this way, the under-ice ocean teaches humility. It reminds us that our expectations are shaped by our own environment, that what we call advanced or primitive often reflects circumstance rather than truth. Life does not move toward a universal form. It adapts locally, persistently, patiently. And given enough isolation, it becomes something we no longer recognize. Beneath the ice, evolution has not stopped. It has simply taken a quieter path. A path that may be far more common in the cosmos than the bright, restless one we know. As the frozen ceiling continues to seal this ocean away, life below remains calm and self-contained, unconcerned with the world above, unaware of being studied or imagined. It does not need to resemble us. It does not need to be named. It exists as proof that biology can thrive in many forms, and that some of the most enduring versions of life may be the ones that never seek the light. Far from Earth, beneath skies that never knew warmth, other oceans may be waiting. They do not shimmer under sunlight. They do not touch an atmosphere thick with clouds. They are hidden, sealed beneath kilometers of ice, orbiting distant planets in silence. Europa drifts around Jupiter, wrapped in a shell of frozen white. Beneath that shell, gravity pulls and releases the moon in a slow rhythm, flexing its interior like a quiet heartbeat. This motion generates heat, just enough to keep an ocean liquid in perpetual darkness. Enceladus, small and bright, circles Saturn. Cracks near its south pole open and close gently, releasing plumes of water vapor into space. Within those plumes, scientists have detected salts, organic molecules, and hints of chemical energy rising from below. Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, hides not one ocean, but possibly several, stacked layers of water separated by exotic forms of ice, pressed and reshaped by immense pressure. These are not hypothetical seas. They are oceans by every physical definition, vast, deep, and persistent. They have no shores, no waves, no sky reflected on their surface, and yet they share something profound with the under-ice ocean on Earth. They are protected. The ice above them acts as armor against radiation, impacts, and extreme temperature swings. It isolates them from the violent environment of space, creating conditions that remain stable over immense spans of time. Stability, more than warmth or light, is what life requires. On Earth, the ocean beneath the ice shows us what happens when stability is preserved, when energy arrives gently, when disruption is rare. In the same way, Europa's ocean may be warmed not by sunlight, but by tidal forces. Enceladus may be fed by chemical reactions between water and rock deep within its core. Ganymede's layered seas may exchange materials slowly, quietly, over millions of years. Different worlds, different scales, the same underlying principle. Life does not need a star overhead. It needs gradients, places where energy flows slowly from one form to another. On Earth, we find those gradients at the seafloor, where rock meets water. On icy moons, those boundaries may exist as well, hidden far below their frozen crusts. If life can persist in Earth's under-ice ocean, sealed, dark, chemically powered, then the question shifts. Not could life exist elsewhere, but how often might it arise? The under-ice ocean becomes less an anomaly and more a reference point, a template. It shows us that biology does not require a surface, that evolution does not depend on seasons, that complexity can emerge in worlds without weather, without light, without change that arrives suddenly. In this light, Earth's hidden oceans feel less isolated. They begin to resemble rehearsal spaces, places where the universe tests its quieter ideas. Because icy worlds are common. In our solar system alone, moons with subsurface oceans may outnumber habitable planets. Beyond it, icy bodies are thought to be among the most abundant objects in the galaxy. Each one carries the possibility of an ocean sealed away, waiting. If life appears in such environments even rarely, then the universe may be filled not with bright biospheres, but with countless dark ones. Worlds where life whispers rather than shouts, where existence leaves little trace on the surface. From a distance, these worlds would appear empty, silent, inactive. And yet, beneath their ice, chemistry could be unfolding, metabolism could be ticking slowly, evolution could be drifting patiently. Earth's under-ice ocean allows us to imagine this not as speculation, but as continuity, as something that already happens here. A reminder that life's most enduring expressions may never announce themselves, never glow in starlight, never be seen, unless someone learns how to listen. From this perspective, Earth's hidden ocean becomes more than a curiosity. It becomes a translation, a way of understanding how life might choose to exist when the universe offers cold more often than warmth, silence more often than sound, and darkness far more often than light. For a long time, the search for life beyond Earth has been guided by familiarity. We look for atmospheres like our own, for liquid water touching open air, for planets warmed just enough by their stars. But the universe is not shaped around convenience. Stars are distant, warmth is rare, radiation is unforgiving. Ice, on the other hand, is common. It forms easily, it lasts, it protects. Across the cosmos, frozen worlds may be far more numerous than temperate ones. Moons and planets wrapped in thick shells, quietly orbiting their stars, insulated from extremes. Inside those shells, oceans may persist for billions of years, longer than Earth's surface has remained stable, long enough for chemistry to become biology, long enough for biology to become something quietly complex. The under-ice ocean on Earth shows us that such worlds do not need to be dramatic to be alive. They do not need weather or landscapes or sunlight to drive change. They need time and they need protection. In this sense, ice is not an obstacle to life. It is an invitation. It allows energy to accumulate slowly. It smooths out catastrophe. It creates environments where evolution can proceed without interruption. Under ice, life is not constantly tested. It is allowed to settle. This challenges the idea that life must always announce itself, that it must alter atmospheres or reshape surfaces to be detected. Some of the most enduring biospheres may leave almost no trace at all. If a spacecraft passed near Europa or Enceladus, it might see only ice and vacuum, a silent moon reflecting sunlight faintly back into space. And yet, beneath that silence, an ocean could be alive with chemical exchange, with metabolism ticking softly, with organisms drifting, feeding, reproducing, unaware of being hidden. Earth's under-ice ocean reminds us that life does not require permission to exist. It does not wait for ideal conditions. It adapts to what is available. And what is available across much of the universe is cold and darkness. In that darkness, life may not evolve toward complexity as we define it. It may not build structures or technologies. It may not reach outward. It may simply persist. This reframes the question of loneliness in the cosmos. If life is widespread but quiet, if it thrives beneath surfaces rather than upon them, then the universe may be full without ever appearing crowded. Worlds could be alive without ever signaling one another, each sealed within its own protective shell, each evolving inward rather than outward. Earth's under-ice ocean becomes a reminder of this possibility, a place where life exists without spectacle, without urgency, without need to be seen. It suggests that the universe's most common form of life may not resemble forests or reefs or cities. It may resemble darkness, stillness, patience, and perhaps that is fitting. The universe itself is mostly empty space, mostly quiet, mostly cold. Life that mirrors those qualities may be better suited to it than life that demands light. When we look up at distant moons and imagine oceans beneath their ice, we are not imagining something exotic. We are recognizing a pattern, one that already exists here. Under the ice of our own planet, life has found a way to continue, not loudly, not visibly, but reliably. If it can do so here, there is little reason to believe it could not do so elsewhere. In that sense, Earth's hidden oceans are not exceptions, they are rehearsals. Proof that life does not need to be rare or miraculous to endure, only patient enough to wait and quiet enough to remain. And as we drift back from these distant worlds, from Europa's frozen shell, from Enceladus's quiet plumes, from Ganymede's layered seas, we return to our own planet with softened expectations. Life may be everywhere, not shining, not calling out, but listening. When humans arrive in this ocean, they do not arrive loudly. There are no footsteps, no voices carried through water, only a distant hum, low and mechanical, threading slowly through the dark. Submersibles descend like metal dreams, shaped by pressure and necessity rather than beauty. Their hulls are thick, rounded, cautious, designed not to dominate the environment, but to survive it. They move slowly, not because they must, but because speed feels out of place here. In the vast darkness beneath the ice, even machines seem to hesitate. Lights bloom at the front of these vessels, cones of pale white cutting briefly through black water. They reveal only what they touch. Beyond that narrow reach, the ocean remains unchanged, untouched by curiosity. These lights are fragile things. They scatter quickly. They fade into distance after only a few meters. Against millions of years of darkness, they feel temporary, a momentary suggestion rather than a transformation. Where the beams pass, suspended particles awaken, drifting like dust in an empty room. The water seems to notice the intrusion, responding with motion so subtle it is almost imagined. Creatures drift out of view, glows dim. The ocean adjusts. Human explorers often speak in whispers inside these vessels, not because sound would carry outside, but because instinct demands quiet. There is a sense, even through layers of metal and glass, that this place does not belong to them. Every movement is deliberate, every adjustment small. Thrusters pulse gently, avoiding sudden disturbance. Robotic arms extend slowly, carefully, as if asking permission before touching stone or sediment. Samples are taken sparingly, measurements recorded in silence. The goal is not conquest, it is presence. Even the instruments seem designed to disappear as much as possible. Cameras that see without touching, sensors that listen rather than interrupt. When a submersible passes over the seafloor, it casts a moving shadow, a brief eclipse in a world that has never known day. For a moment, the ocean experiences something like change. Then the shadow passes. Nothing follows. To the inhabitants of this world, the visit is likely incomprehensible. A sudden brightness, a vibration where none existed before, then darkness again. There is no pursuit, no reaction. Life here has not evolved to respond to visitors. It has evolved to endure absence. Human presence feels less like arrival and more like interruption, a brief anomaly in an otherwise consistent reality. Exploration, in this context, becomes an act of restraint. Every decision carries weight. How bright should the lights be? How long should they remain on? How close is too close? There is an unspoken understanding that observation itself alters the environment, even when done gently. And so explorers move with caution, aware that they are guests. No flags are planted here, no claims made. There is nothing to conquer beneath the ice. The pressure alone makes that clear. Every meter downward is earned. Every moment survived is borrowed from engineering and luck. The ocean does not yield easily. It allows passage, but not ownership. Submersibles return to the surface carrying data, samples, images, small fragments of a vast unseen whole. They leave behind no trace but disturbed water that settles back into stillness. Within hours, perhaps minutes, the ocean forgets. Darkness resumes its full depth. Currents return to their long paths. Life drifts back into equilibrium. From the surface, these missions are described in terms of discovery, new species, new environments, new insights. But from below, they are something else entirely. They are brief requests. Moments when a distant species asks, quietly, cautiously, to look, and then just as quietly to leave. When the submersible begins its ascent, nothing in the ocean marks the moment. There is no farewell, no reaction rippling outward. The lights dim, the hum fades. Metal dreams turn upward, retracing their careful path through the dark. Behind them, the water closes gently, as if smoothing a crease that never quite belonged there. Sediment, disturbed by passing thrusters, settles back toward the seafloor. Particles drift downward in slow spirals, returning to their long rest. Chemical gradients soften again, re-establishing patterns that existed before curiosity arrived. The ocean resumes itself. For the brief time humans are present, this world allows observation, but it does not respond. There are no signals meant for us, no answers shaped to our questions. Everything we see exists regardless of our attention. This creates a rare kind of encounter. Most places humans explore are changed by the act of being explored. Footprints remain, paths form, silence recedes. Here, the opposite is true. The under-ice ocean absorbs presence without acknowledgement. It neither welcomes nor resists. It simply continues. In this way, exploration becomes less about discovery and more about restraint. What matters is not how much is taken, but how little is disturbed. Every mission carries this awareness. Scientists debate light levels, sampling frequency, duration, not because the environment is fragile in the conventional sense, but because it is complete without us. There is an ethical weight to looking into a world that does not need to be seen. The ocean beneath the ice has no history with human intention. It has not been shaped by our tools, our waste, our timelines. It exists beyond our urgency. To enter it is to step outside the familiar narrative of progress. Here, knowledge does not grant control. Understanding does not imply ownership. We cannot improve this world by being present in it. We can only witness it briefly, imperfectly, and then withdraw. When submersibles return to the surface, the transition is abrupt. Darkness gives way to dim polar light. Pressure eases. Sound changes. Inside the vessel, voices return to normal volume. Data scrolls across screens. Images replay. Glimpses of stone, drifting forms, faint glows caught at the edge of vision. Back above the ice, these fragments become stories. They are analyzed, categorized, shared. But the ocean below remains whole, untouched by interpretation. It does not care what we call what we saw. It does not wait for conclusions. In this, there is a quiet lesson. Human exploration often assumes a trajectory, from unknown to known, from mystery to mastery. The under-ice ocean resists this arc. No matter how many missions descend, the vast majority of this world remains unseen. Not because it is inaccessible, but because it is expansive beyond curiosity. Each visit reveals only how much remains unvisited. And so the relationship shifts. Exploration here is not about conquering darkness with light. It is about learning how little light is enough. How briefly one can look without altering. How carefully one can arrive and depart. This is not the posture of a conqueror. It is the posture of a guest. A guest who knows they will not be invited to stay. When the ice closes again above the ascending vessel, the separation is restored. Surface and below return to being distant worlds. The ocean does not mark the passage of time the way we do. It does not record visits. It does not accumulate memory of intrusions. For it, the presence of humans is a momentary fluctuation, a ripple that fades long before it can matter. And perhaps that is the most humbling realization of all, that there are places on this planet where humanity arrives without consequence and leaves without legacy, where existence unfolds according to rules we did not write and will never fully understand. Beneath the ice, the ocean continues its slow, patient life. Creatures drift. Chemistry unfolds. Time spreads outward without concern. Above, humans return with stories of wonder and restraint. Between these two worlds lies a fragile agreement, unspoken but deeply felt, that some places are not meant to be changed, only glimpsed, and that the most respectful way to explore the unknown is sometimes to leave it exactly as it was found. The motion slows now. Above the deep ocean, the ice rests in perfect stillness, thick and ancient, holding its shape without effort. No openings remain, no traces of passage linger. Beneath that frozen ceiling, life continues quietly, not as a response to anything, but as a steady state of being. There is no urgency here, no signal waiting to be answered, only slow currents, patient chemistry, and living forms moving gently through the dark. As you listen, you don't need to follow every thought. You don't need to remember every detail. Just allow your breathing to soften the way the ocean settles when nothing disturbs it. If your mind begins to drift, let it drift. Like particles sinking slowly through still water, each thought can settle on its own. It is comforting to know that this world exists, that far below the places we walk and breathe, there are ecosystems unfolding without sound, without light, without interruption. The planet feels larger because of them, more complete. As night spreads across the surface of the Earth, ice reflects starlight faintly back into space. Oceans above grow still. Continents settle into shadow. And below it all, sealed away from weather and time, another ocean drifts onward, carrying life that neither knows nor needs the world above. The Earth is sleeping now, and under its frozen skin, a hidden sea is dreaming too. Slowly, softly, endlessly. You can rest here as well. Good night.